Army achieves progress in the south and maintains control over dozens of villages in the north. In occupied Syrian Golan, Israeli occupation arrests 2 Syrian citizens from the villages of Buqata and Majd al-Shams. And the new evidence on the role of Erdogan's regime as an exporter of terrorists in Syria. Good afternoon. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates Walid al-Muallim received the Turkish party's delegation, which is composed of political and economic Turkish figures. The minister asserted in the meeting that the Turkish government has wrongly interpreted the situation in the region, adding that Erdogan's government took negative stances that don't serve the Syrian and Turkish peoples. As part of the repressive policy and the provocations against our people in the occupied Syrian Golan, the Israeli occupation forces arrested 2 Syrian citizens from the 2 occupied villages of Buqata and Majd al-Shams. Israeli forces of occupation arrested Sheikh Atif Ali Derwish from the village of Buqata and the recently freed prisoner Fida Majd al-Sha'ir in Majd al-Shams after raiding their houses this morning. The Israeli occupation forces also seized the personal belongings of the 2 citizens, including computers, mobile phones, and cameras. Syrian Arab Army units achieved a new progress in their ongoing operations on several axes of the triangle of Dar'a, al-Qunaytira, and Damascus southern countryside, maintaining control over the area of Rajm al-Said after eliminating the last gathering of al-Nusra. A Syrian Arab Army unit also destroyed a hideout of the terrorists, killing many of them in the town of Atman in Dar'a's countryside. In cooperation with the People's Defense Unit, Syrian Arab Army maintained full control over 33 villages and farms in al-Hasaka's northeastern countryside, expelling ISIS terrorists from the area. With heavy artillery, Syrian Arab Army units pounded the hideouts of ISIS terrorists who were committing vicious crimes against the citizens in al-Hasaka, as many Takfir mercenaries infiltrated from Turkey, receiving support from Erdogan's regime. Meanwhile, a Syrian Arab Army unit eliminated a number of terrorist leaders, targeting one of their hideouts near the village of al-Bashiriya in Jisr al-Shughur. Syrian Arab Army units have repelled an attack by terrorist gangs along al-Zalakiyat, al-Masafna, al-Buwaydiya in Hamas countryside and killed scores, some of whom are non-Syrians. Among the killed are the commander of the so-called regiment of Suqur al-Ghab and others from the Islamic Front and al-Nusra. Anti-tank machine guns and cannons were also destroyed by the army's units in al-Lahiya village and south of al-Latamna. Other army units have killed tens of terrorists along al-Rabi'a al-Hilwa road in al-Rawda and Durshan areas and Karaf mountain in Latakia's northern countryside. 2 dens have also been destroyed with all terrorists inside in Al-Atarib in Aleppo's countryside. In Hom's countryside, the army foiled a terrorist attempt to blow up explosive devices they had earlier planted in eastern Palmyra city. A Syrian Arab Army unit found 10 explosive devices planted inside water channels and under bridges in the area. The explosive devices were successfully dismantled without causing any damage. They weighed 25 to 40 kilograms and had been prepared to be remotely detonated. Takfir organizations' websites have stated that more than 80 terrorists from Hazm movement and al-Nusra have been killed in fierce confrontations between the 2 sides in Aleppo. Terrorist Hazm organization has declared that it has joined the terrorist movement Ahrar al-Sham after its stronghold has been besieged by al-Nusra in Atarib in Aleppo, and a number of its terrorists have been detained, while many others have fled. Further evidence has been unveiled by Turkish media outlets on the vicious and sinister role being played by Erdogan's regime that has not stopped helping terrorists infiltrate into the Syrian inland, proving that Erdogan's regime has turned Turkey into a hub for receiving and exporting terrorists to Syria to perpetrate the most heinous crimes against the Syrian people. Turkish media have broadcast footage of the 3 British female teenagers while awaiting inside offices of the 2 bus companies at a station to be moved later to Urfa city, close to the Syrian border, to join ISIS. News indicated that this has been carried out under the hearing and seeing of the Turkish authorities. For its part, Scotland Yard has admitted that the 3 girls have infiltrated to Syria, asserting that they managed to do that backed by the Turkish regime. It is to be noted that the footage has been broadcast 2 days after the Canadian government has admitted that between 3 to 6 Canadian young men infiltrated to Syria mid-January via Turkey to join ISIS. With this, we conclude our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our website in English, syriaonline.sy. Now to latest business and market news with Serena, but after a short break.
Good afternoon. People's Assembly issued during its meeting, headed by Muhammad Jihad al-Laham, the law project that includes finishing work on the decree which is concerned with establishing the Mail and Telecommunications School. The Minister of Communication and Technology indicated that this law comes in harmony with the communication law that includes transforming the general establishment of communication into a contributing company that works according to the Trade in Companies Law. The Trade and Industrial Delegation, headed by the Russian director of Edigora company in Latakia, have toured a number of agriculture and industrial projects for establishing investment projects in the governorate. The tour included visiting several locations for establishing an agricultural equipment factory and a station for containers, whereas the Russian delegation has approved signing contracts with a number of Syrian businessmen in order to meet the Syrian market's needs. Tartus governor has met with a delegation of Russian trade and industrial figures headed by director of the Russian company. The meeting tackled means of trade exchange between the 2 countries in the agricultural, medical and industrial sectors and using the Russian and Syrian currencies in supporting these activities. The director has said that the organic goods are desirable in the Russian markets and that the Syrian organic goods can achieve great success if the processes are competitive, adding that the preparations are being made to hold an exhibition for the Syrian products in Russia soon. The Minister of Industry has called the directorates for the cotton ginning and marketing's general establishment to present statements and accurate numbers that reflect the work mechanisms in the establishment in order to define the real reasons that have obstructed the work so they can find solutions for this. The director of the establishment, for his part, has showed the reasons behind the low production rates, which are the current circumstances that have caused stealing the ginned cottons and the inability of transporting cottons from the eastern areas to the gins working in the middle areas. The General Establishment for Marketing and Storage has stressed forming committees for the continuous prices conducting operations in the local markets. The establishment has also emphasized providing the local markets with the commodities that meet the citizens' needs, referring to the significant role of the marketing establishments in stabilizing the Syrian market and reducing the high prices. The Russian Minister of Power declared that the Russian strategy concerning the energy does not include decreasing the amount of oil production until 2035. However, it includes changing the production structure according to the areas in Russia. He also indicated that there is no intention to decrease the production. In the same context, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, issued last November that it will keep its oil production at the level 30 barrels per day without any change. over to some main currencies exchange rates according to the bulletin of the Central Bank of Syria. With this, we conclude our economic news for today. Thank you for watching and goodbye.